Hey guys, it's Cara. We have a busy day in the garden today, mainly for Ryan though. He's going to be doing the heavy lifting for me. Before I tell you our plan for the day, at the entrance of the garden, there's a dahlia blooming. This dahlia, I don't know the variety name. I think it looks kind of like cherub, I believe is what it's called, or angelic cherub. I got it at a local nursery and it was unmarked and they didn't know the name of this particular tuber. But I just think that's beautiful and it caught my eye right away as I was walking into the garden today. The plan for today is to do a lot of mulch and cleaning up of things around here. I always like mulching videos because there's quite a nice before and after shot and everything just looks so tidy and fresh and cleaned up. So we have a lot of wood chip mulch that we are going to be laying down in between the rows on top of the landscaping fabric, and also doing a nice new thick layer on our main path here. Our garden is kind of split up into two different sections. The other side of the garden we have gravel, and in this front half we have landscaping fabric underneath the garden. And then when you come around the back half where you see those weeds down there, there's no landscaping fabric. So we're also going to put some landscaping fabric down there before replacing the gravel back in that section too. Oh, I see another flower. There's a daisy popping up here. I'm guessing this is a blue African disc daisy, although I don't remember planting any here. Planted some of those blue African disc daisies on the outside corners of the bed, but I don't remember planting any here with this lettuce. So that one made its way into that bed somehow. But that's really pretty. That wasn't here last night. Now that I've spotted two flowers, I'm just spying all these other new flower varieties that are popping up too. I was just out here last night harvesting and I did not see all of these. So the heat of today must have made them all bloom. It's in the high 80s today, so it's a bit warmer than it's been the rest of the week. The amazing gray poppy flower is blooming. This poppy, I got the seeds from Baker Creek or rareseeds.com. I think that's really pretty. It's called Amazing Gray Poppy, but it has almost a deep purple color to the petals with a hint of gray in there. Reminds me kind of a cupcake liner or like crinkled tissue paper. I have some other poppy varieties next to it growing, but they aren't quite ready to flower just yet. There are some pretty crazy looking heads on them though. It's always exciting to see new flowers popping up in the garden. It's kind of like a little present, little surprise for the day. Up until this point, the bachelor's button has really been the only flower that's been blooming in the garden. Even though we just have one dahlia over there, this whole section of raised beds is planted in dahlias, so there will be a lot more beautiful flowers this summer. So subscribe if you're not already to see all those. And those dahlias should get quite tall too.
So we got some mulch for around our raised beds and other places. We got it from a local landfill, actually. We've been on chip drop for a while, and with not much luck with that. We got one drop, I think it was last year.
Yeah, and I think you maybe have more luck if you're in the city somewhere.
Yeah.
Or kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Being far out, yeah. I guess there's less properties to maintain.
Which, if you don't know what Chip Drop is a website where you can go online and request free wood chips, and arborists in your area will drop them at your house versus paying to have them dumped at the landfill, because they still have to pay to dispose of them at the landfill typically. So that's how we ended up getting these. They're probably the same thing, just, you know, we got them for free from the landfill. We had to go pick them up.
Chip drop is a good idea. It sounds like a good idea, and I think it works for a lot of people. It just may not work for our location.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're pretty happy with this. It looks really good. I was expecting larger pieces, not as shredded, but this looks like the same stuff we paid, $30 a yard at our local landscape place. So
which we just did that.
Yeah, we just did that
like 2 weeks ago. We got
hardwood mulch, just like this probably.
Yeah. So I wish we had known or explored this option first.
Yeah. I mean, it's well shredded and it looks pretty clean. There's definitely some large pieces.
For our purpose, I think it'll work great.
Yeah, what we're doing it for.
Thankfully, we were able to borrow my father's dump trailer. Otherwise, we would have made quite a few trips with just the pickup truck, and this will be easier to unload it as well. I've already showed you guys around the raised bed areas where we're going to be putting the mulch, or I should say Ryan is going to be putting the mulch. Next to me here is our blueberry bushes. We might extend this a little bit and add some more mulch in there. And then also, this is our raspberry and loganberry hedge. It needs weeded, and it also needs a lot more mulch on it. So we'll be putting some of that there as well. I'm not sure how far this dump trailer load is going to stretch us today. How many cubic yards do you think we have?
About 5, yeah.
So we can definitely go back and get more if we run out. We know where it is and how to get it for free now. The guy at the landfill also loaded it up for us with the backhoe, so that was really nice. We had heard about getting wood chips and mulch from the dump before, but we figured we had to shovel it with a shovel. So that was a nice surprise that they were able to load it up for us.
Yep.
So let's get to work. One thing we did when we designed our garden was we made that center path big enough that we could easily pull the tractor in or back the dump trailer into the garden so that we could unload mulch or compost or whatever we need to a little more efficiently.
The carrot I'm supposed to pull?
Yeah, pull it for me.
How many is it?
I don't know, there might be a couple there.
It looks like several.
I tried to pull it the other day and I couldn't get it out. Oh, that's anticlimactic.
That's not all of it.
I know, I just thought it was gonna be like
This
massive.
No, it looks a lot bigger than what it is. Sorry.
Nah, that's a bummer. I tried to pull those carrots out of the ground the other day and I couldn't do it myself. So I thought they must be huge carrots. That was kind of disappointing. I've reached the point in this pregnancy where I'm not shoveling anymore. So I'm definitely thankful for Ryan today. And he's doing all the heavy lifting for me. I'm thankful for him every day too though, not just today.
It's gonna be a lot quicker to put this down than around all the plants.
That's true.
Nothing
Nothing to squish.
or feather around.
Can you spot the Scotty dog? I think he was blending into the tarp. Come on, Lucy.
So we're just trying to shove this plastic up underneath as best we can. It's not going to get all the weeds probably, but hopefully it gets most of them. Best thing to do would be to put all this down before you put the raised beds on. So then you could overlap, you know, a solid couple inches into the bed. And that's going to prevent a lot of weeds from coming up on the corner. I didn't do any of that on the gravel, and you can see along the edges. The grasses make it up somehow. It's amazing.
This is a good example of what happens when you don't tuck the landscaping fabric up underneath the beds. Right here, all that grass growing beside that raised bed. We do have landscaping fabric here in the main pathway underneath this gravel, but it's not tucked up underneath the bed right there. So all that grass growing is because of that. That's one of the main reasons that Ryan spent the time digging out underneath all these raised beds to tuck the landscaping fabric up under, so that hopefully that helps prevent the grass from growing. All the landscaping fabric is laid out in between the paths, so now we're ready to put down some more mulch. Ryan put down most of the mulch just by using a wheelbarrow and a pitchfork and a shovel, but thankfully we were able to borrow a skid steer to put down this main pathway. The skid steer wouldn't have fit in between the individual rows anyway, but for our main wide path center aisle, the Bobcat made it a lot quicker, and it definitely got done a lot faster than if we had just been wheelbarrowing all the mulch in. So we are definitely grateful to have been able to borrow that. The mulch is all done now, and in between all the raised beds, it looks so fresh and tidy. I just love the way that everything looks right now. I think the garden looks just beautiful, especially with this golden hour glow and the sun starting to set. We had to get the drone up in the air and take some cinematic shots for you guys so you could see everything. Plus, we just wanted to see for ourselves too what it looked like from the bird's eye view. I think it's always fun to use the drone and get those different angles that you don't see every day when you're just walking around the garden. The garden is really starting to hit its stride, and things are starting to ripen up and be ready for harvesting, so there will be a lot more harvesting videos and gardening content coming to you this summer. If you like watching gardening content, we definitely will have a lot of it, so subscribe if you're not already to follow along with our garden journey this summer. It's pretty amazing how quickly the garden is growing right now. Even just since our last garden tour video, things have really taken off and grown a lot larger. So I will have to do an updated garden tour video for you guys here soon, so stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.